on Bridge 5. Speed notify ground.
We are dealing with ordinary machines here. These are highly complex pieces of equipment, almost as complicated as living objects. We don't know exactly how they work.
Warning! If you find the content of this program to be offensive, too bad!
All right.
You got a pussy too.
Oh yeah.
Look at that thing. What's going on with that cat? That's an alien. So let me introduce the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to or watching the podcast of Hideous Diversion. That is a tale, and my name is Myke Hideous, and we have a special guest on, two guests tonight, from a band called October Noir. And before I introduce them, I'm going to introduce my co-host, producer, and engineer, Mr. B. Say hello, Mr. B.
What's up, my brother from another mother?
Well, hello to you too there. How are you?
I'm alive, dude. It's been a long week.
Been a long week. I know we had a discussion about it Monday. Well, I'm glad to see you're back in the saddle and all is good and okay. And on that note, let me introduce our guests. We have Mr. Tom Noir and Doug. Doug, what's your last name? Doug, I don't remember.
It's Lane.
Lane, that's right. How could I forget
Lame.
that? Lame. Okay.
It's like
So-
a fucking anchor man. I lost
So
a bet.
welcome to the show, boys. Now, for those of, excuse me, I'm trying to work here. For those of you who don't, I'm trying to work here, please. Do you mind? For those of you who don't know who October Noir are, or if you have, I did interview them on my old podcast, Finding the Truth with Myke Idiots. But if you didn't see that, let's start fresh. So, Tom, why don't you start by telling me who's in the band, what they play, and yeah, let's start in that notion.
So we got Doug on keyboards. He used to be a guitar player,
That's right.
but we had a hard time finding keyboard players, so he picked it up. And then we've got Trey Ozinga. He's on guitars, and we've got Tyler Fleming on drums, and then me doing the vocals and the bass.
Right. And when you guys write, is it a collaboration?
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. So it just, I don't know. However it's happening, I have things that will come to my head that I work off of. So whether it's like a lyrical melody or lyrics itself, or everybody kind of has their hands in it together a lot of times, and we just
Well, that's good.
again, yeah.
Yeah, Tom is basically like the final architect of everything that goes on with it. A lot of the times we'll construct ideas of our own and bring it to Tom, and then we'll work that into a complete arrangement.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I have a few questions about the video that we just watched, which is called what's it called again?
Forever Haunt.
Thank you, Forever Haunt.
Hey.
I get confused with I'm still learning the names of the songs. I have the albums, they're on my computer. When I
Yeah.
listen to the song, I don't listen to the names of the songs. I'm only hearing them, so I can never remember the titles. In any event, I have a big question for you.
Yeah.
So, would you mind telling us where that video was shot?
You know this story, Mike.
I do, that's why I'm asking it.
Right in our backyard.
And folks, when I saw this video, I loved it. I especially loved the scenes of the band playing in the weeds in in Tom's yard.
What was
Like,
great about it, though,
don't you want a fucking lawnmower?
so this is like when did we shoot it? It was in March or something. So it was, everything was getting green again. But it was funny because when I called the guys to come over and do this thing, they were all like, "We're shooting this in your backyard." they're like, what the fuck are we
Well,
doing, man?
it's not like there's not good nature scenery that's going on in the backyard over here. It's just that we had just gotten a shitload of rain and we were dragging
Oh
all of
yeah,
our
it's
shit in the
muddy and
mud.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting you bring that up, Doug, because I do have a related question, but I'm not going to ask it yet. I want to wait till we show another video, another music video. But think, shut my phone off. Um, so who is the female vocalist? Tell us a little bit about her and the association with the band.
Yeah, so that's Nadia Code. She's from, or I'm sorry, hold on. Kodez. Let me get her last name right. She's
Right.
from Russia originally, and she moved to Israel, I believe, but she's stateside now. So um she did a bunch of she's got her own YouTube channel, so she was doing like a lot of piano covers of typo songs. And we had a fan of ours that commented about her and said, "Hey, you should really do a collaboration with her." And I guess they went and told her, so she reached out and like, yeah, let's see what we could throw together, and that's what came out of it. So it came very quickly.
So you
Uh,
guys weren't like you didn't even know who each other were per se, and you just got together and did a.
A lot of that is just a consequence of like being in the sphere, like
yeah,
Dennis Pauna. We
Powder.
did a collaboration with him as well, and he built his following off of doing stylistic covers of one band covering another band's song. And
Okay.
we did Nights in White Satin by the Moody Blues with him.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that. We were
Yeah,
supposed to do that
yeah, that was
with that other
Memento
band, Momento di
Daytona.
Tone. Um,
I'm glad you and I were on the same page with that one.
yeah, by the way, I was listening to the cover you did by Tears for Fears. Right? Is it Tears for Fears?
Mm,
What's that song, that cover you did? Oh shit.
uh,
I was watching it yesterday and now I can't remember what it was.
like Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. Was it that one?
No,
You
no.
guys did Silent Lucidity, didn't you?
Yeah. Silent Lucidity, and then we
What
had
name a
Crimson and
couple of them.
Clover. We
It's a
did
music video.
music video.
music video.
I saw it on your
The only
page.
cover music videos we did
I
were
think it was
for
Wicked
Love You to
Game.
Death and
Oh
Wicked
yeah, Love
Game.
You to Death.
Must be another October Noir then.
It better not be.
No, the other
I was
October
on.
Noir, the drag queen.
And it actually is true.
What a great connection.
Uh,
I must be terribly confused. I apologize, but I could swear by Lucifer's right hand that I was on your video page and you did a cover of, you know what? I'm going to just shut my mouth now. I'm going to move on
yeah,
because
you digging that hole.
I'm confused. I could have swore you did another cover by Tears for Fears.
Hey,
Uh-uh.
can I say something real quick? Doug, dude, I've never seen anybody rock the freaking keytar like you do, bro. You actually single-handedly made the keytar cool. And
I
for
don't know
that,
about that.
I will never forget you, dude. I'm just saying.
Thank
And
you.
you're a lot more happier go luckier than you look like in the videos. You look pretty mean and serious in the videos too, dude. So
Damn right.
We've all said it, like Doug is our designated actor. If you watch the music video for Effigy, where we all kind of played this character, as it was set up like an old slasher film. But Doug was like super into the role. He was like the nerdy guy that gets to run off with the girl to bang the girl. Uh, but he did a fantastic job.
Then I spent the whole time
It was
dead looking like I got the shaft.
Yeah, you guys, so you did that video. Uh that was the second video you did from the last album, right?
I think that was actually the first
The first
music
one.
video we released, yeah, from because that happened to be a single. Um, and then I think what do we do?
No, that was Windows that ended up getting released
Yeah.
before the album came out.
Well, yeah, but he said the last album though. This last album.
Oh.
Yeah, because we released Endless Lonely first as a single, and that one didn't have a music video yet.
Oh, you're talking about Halo.
Oh yeah, Halo
Yeah.
came after.
Mhm.
Right, Halo for on Saint on oh, title. I can never remember the titles.
Wait, so are we talking about Effigy or
No, he's
are we
talking about
talking about
Halo Home from
yeah,
World.
Halo?
Halo. No, I'm
Okay.
talking about Halo, definitely.
Okay, I
Because
wasn't sure you
that
said
was
that
the
one.
last one you did, right? Halo?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, outside of Tourniquet.
Well, these songs are from an album called Letters to Existence, which is a phenomenal record, by the way. Um, and you guys, if you're interested, you can get it from the October Noir website, website.com. Uh, there are 4 full LPs, right? So
Correct.
there's The Haunting and the Powerful.
Yeah, I don't count that one.
Now, why is that?
I hate it.
Is that your first one?
Yeah, it was the very first one, but it's where I was just like fucking poking around with everything. So like half the album, had all these different kind of typo nod riffs to it
Okay.
that would put the song. But I was just messing around seeing if there was a market. So I didn't. I don't like it. I don't like that album.
What was the second one? 13?
Yeah, 13 was the second one.
So that was the second one. So here's the first one, folks. All right. Here's the
Look at
second
that.
one.
Someone actually owns our CDs.
This one's a 13.
That's $4.99 plus shipping and handling.
Then there was Fate, Wine, and Wisteria, which is
What a
this one.
cool name. I love that.
Thank you.
Isn't that great?
Hey,
And then last
show
but
him the
not
CD
least,
trick with that one, Mike.
what's that? Oh, the CD trick. Yeah, hang on
Show
one
Mr.
second.
B.
This is the last one. This is Letters to Existence. All right, let me open it up. So dirty. You guys are so filthy.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Good
Put your
job,
finger through
guys.
the hole.
I almost mixed that up with a hip hop album. This is. Oh yeah,
It's very
that's
close
fantastic.
sonically too. So
So why don't you tell us, why don't you start by telling us how you guys got together? I know there's been some band member changes and stuff like that. So give us a little history about the band.
yeah, so first album did that one in like 2017 and put it out and it started getting a lot of attention, a lot of traction. And so people were reaching out saying, hey, are you on tour or can you come here? Can you come there? I was like, I don't even have a fucking band together.
You did this like
Yeah, by
on your
myself.
own?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit!
I did it by myself. Yeah. So I just bought a bunch of equipment and it was a learning process too, going through that one because I had to understand the studio side and all the fucking physical shit that goes with it.
So why
Right.
first album's the test drive.
Yeah.
Wow. I was unaware of that. I did not realize you
Yep.
didn't even have a band.
Yep. So when it started getting the traction, I was like, all right, well, I know a few people in the area. Let me ask them, talk to them. So the first lineup was like is it Troy and his wife Jackie. She played keyboards, and then we got our old drummer Danny. I think you remember Danny.
I remember Dan.
Yeah. And so they were in the mix. We spent about 6 months preparing for our first show. That was in September of 2018. And that came around. And they were with us until 2019,
Yeah, it was late 2019.
probably September, I think. Troy and Jackie dropped off.
Yeah, I joined a couple weeks before the second album dropped.
Yeah. So Doug's been here ever since then. Yeah, it was September. Exactly. Because the last show we played with them was right on the anniversary of the first show they played.
Yeah,
We
was
played
that Pinkman's?
no, it was Kazuko's.
I played that show.
Oh, you did play that
Yeah.
one. That was supposed to be their last one, but yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
they
he got pissed off.
they dropped off and I hopped in.
Yeah. So Doug's been here since then, and then he brought in a guy named Justin
Thompson.
to play
Yes.
keyboards.
He was my bassist in a death metal band I
Yeah.
was in prior to joining this band,
Yeah.
and he played keyboards.
Yeah, he was a
for while.
phenomenal keyboard player. But he ended up leaving in 2021.
Yeah, like that. It was before we really got into the weeds on recording the third album.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then Danny
Wait,
got
no, he's in music videos for that one. Yeah, it was shortly after
it was after,
the
yeah,
third album.
yeah, because and then Danny got booted.
Okay. You got
And then,
after they got Tyler, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
right after Danny went, we picked up Tyler, and for a while we were just we had to backtrack all the keyboards because we couldn't find anybody. And then we ended up sitting back, I guess, what, 2 years ago
Mhm.
or so. And Doug was just like, "Hey, we can find another guitar player. There are a dime a dozen. I'm going to keyboards. Get us somebody." So Tyler recommended Trey, and then Trey came in. Yeah, it's been that lineup ever since.
Great. Now I have a question for you, Doug. I know what a phenomenal guitarist you are. And I know we've spoken before about your background and what you're into, especially with the prog rock. You're into progressive metal, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my question to you is, why did you change? I mean, I know you wanted a keyboard, but see, the way I see it, I've known so many musicians, especially guitar players, and they don't want to switch. So what tempted you? What really made you change from playing guitar and being able to move around with your instrument? Not that you don't now, because you've got the, what do you call it? A
Yeah, guitar occasionally.
keytar, right? So again, what made you change? Why did you want to go?
Well, I mean, there's several reasons. For the longest time, like I was growing up, like with very
The end. You're just growing
what?
up.
Yeah, I'm still growing up. But when I was growing up, I had an extremely musical family, and both my brother and my dad's primary instruments are piano. And I was exposed to that from a very young age, and I, for some reason, broke that trend, picked up guitar. I was like, as a musician, I want to give myself all the tools that I can get in order to make the music that I want.
No, I can respect
It's,
that.
it's about like expanding my musical horizons,
Mm,
developing skills that I need.
hmm.
Um, but it was also a lot about just fulfilling the needs of the band. We had spent a long time waiting for a keyboardist to come around, and it's like, our keyboard stuff and our music is not that difficult. It's something that I could pick up and actually bridge that gap, and it would put me behind the control station for like a lot of the other stuff that we do for our live gigs. Because like the rig that I have for the keyboards right now used to be just standalone. It would be running backing tracks, it would be running click tracks, it would be running light show. Um, it would hold the mixer so that we could bring our rig in pre-mixed into a venue and be able to have control over our sound. So like I'm in kind of a role where, yeah, I'm playing keyboards, but I've also got a lot of responsibilities for making the live show happen the way that we want it to. And being behind that keyboard set and by the computer with it really helps me out with that.
You're in more
So
control. Yeah.
yeah, it's
The
more
designated tech guy.
yeah, it's more about making me as effective as possible for serving the needs of the band.
Good. Well, as long as you're happy, I suppose, right?
Hmm.
Right. So now here's a funny question. And maybe I'll just wait until we play the next video. Shall we play another video?
What one thing real quick, Mike, and then I'll play it.
Of
Both
course.
my sons are living music through me vicariously because I suck as a musician. I'm just terrible. And so I started them purposely on the piano because they both wanted to play guitar. I said, you have to learn the basics of the piano so you can learn the basics of music before you can go to the guitar. And I did that on purpose. And just by you, Doug, saying what you're saying, that's so cool to transition the way you did. And I think, and
He did
I
transition.
didn't mean yeah. Well, anyway, it was funny. I'll keep it. But
Nobody knows I'm a lesbian.
yeah.
That's a nice shirt. Can you stand up again and say,
Yeah.
there you go.
But
So
yeah, man. It's really important in music to have, a team member, you know, and someone that's willing to change instruments. That's huge, and it says
Yeah.
something about you as a musician. You know what I mean?
Thank
Well,
you.
I did the same thing when I was starting out. I used to beat my own meat instrument, and then I became a vocalist.
Skin
So I
flute.
I transitioned as well. Anyway,
I gotta
um,
watch what I say.
why don't we
Yeah,
play,
you
Mr.
do.
B? Why don't we play Tourniquet?
Oh, my favorite.
some questions I got for you pertaining to that particular video.
Mhm.
First and foremost, Doug, did you ruin your keyboard with the snow
Uh,
melting on it?
well, it was actually having problems before from a previous weather-related incident.
Let me guess, from the
Uh,
other video you did with
yeah,
the
from
mud getting
Windows
it?
when Justin was
Right.
playing it.
Oh, okay.
And it was
We were,
raining.
we were playing it in the rain. So
Look,
yeah,
So,
I need shit that holds up to abuse.
I
Like,
know. I was just gonna say Tom is
oh,
really good at making the musicians ruin their instruments by doing
yeah,
music videos in the elements. But it turned out great. It turned out great.
yeah.
It was
I
well
mean,
worth it.
it does still work, but it does have some issues. Lately, it's mostly been prop.
And do you think it's because of bringing it
From originally
outside?
getting rained on in the windows. Yeah,
nah,
Okay,
it was
no,
fine.
no, no.
I got another one. It's okay.
Well, nevertheless, I think it was worth it. That is a great video. And now,
Well,
Tom, I go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say to add to that, initially because I've got this big ass organ in the house as 1891. What was the brand on that? Do you remember?
Story and Clark.
Yeah, Story and Clark. And it's probably I don't know. I guess it's worth around like
Yeah, it's like
$5,000 or something.
it's like early Reconstruction era, like right after the Civil War.
Yeah, but I told Doug I was like, hey, if this shit keeps up by 4 o'clock, we're lifting that thing up and we're carrying it outside and shooting it in the snow.
I said,
Nice.
"Fuck no, we
Yeah.
already did that with the guitar. We should use something that's already kind of broken.
Yeah.
We're not made of money. We're not going to be able to replace that organ."
Really? So, I was just gonna say that video, having been shot in Florida with snow coming down, is a perfect example of global cooling
You mean warming?
and cooling.
It's warming. It's all warming. You didn't know? Everything that
Climate,
happens, it's always warming.
it's just climate change now.
Especially when you pee your pants.
You peed your pants in that video, Doug?
Yeah, keep warm.
Oh,
You
okay.
didn't see the little icicles hanging down from the crotch?
Physical.
I wasn't really
Hey, look,
looking.
all the pants are lace crotch too, so.
I wasn't looking at his crotch for that one. I was looking at your crotch, actually. In any event, that is a
Yeah,
great
no,
music
we,
video,
we
man.
got 9 inches of snow that day, man.
That's
It was fucking
crazy
great.
for
Yeah, it was
Florida.
great.
Is that
Never seen.
is that a record?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they said the last time something like that happened was 80 years ago or some shit.
Because I know it has snowed in Florida before.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
let's be specific though. Let's be specific. You're North Florida, right?
Yeah, it's like Northwest. but-
Northwestern
Yeah.
Florida.
I remember
But,
when I
but
worked
still,
offshore in Louisiana, I ended up going out on a hitch or whatever, but it was like it was like 70 fucking degrees, 200 miles south in the Gulf of America.
yes, I was just gonna say that. Gulf of America.
And dude, like talking to everybody back home, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's snowing." But it wasn't enough to it really stuck until the morning. So it snowed and then it stuck for a little bit.
was
And then it was
gone,
done
yeah.
by the morning. That was
Well,
done.
I got news for you and Mr. B, since you guys are both in warm climate areas. It snowed here today.
Oh,
Oh.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah, I
big
know.
fucking deal.
Living in the Poconos is like living on a foreign planet. Like you never know what it's gonna do. Like it
Yeah.
has snowed today.
Well, Mike, dude, when we were at Dark Force, man, that was in April.
It was
That was
April
Parsippany, New Jersey.
10th, if I remember.
I
April
believe
10th.
so, yeah. It was like fucking 40 degrees at night. It was fucking freezing.
Hmm. Well,
No
from
bueno. No bueno.
what?
I can't. 40 degrees is too damn cold for me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I deal with some hefty weather where I live in the
Yeah.
Poconos. It took a little getting used to. I mean, I was from Jersey, but
Yeah.
living in the Poconos, it's just it's a mess. Anyway,
Jersey
Now
is
what-
just fucking interstates and dark clouds and rain.
yes, acid rain.
When I first saw that video, I literally asked Mike, "Hey, did they film that video in your backyard, bro?" And he's all, "No, they filmed it in their backyard." I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking wild, man. But I just it's like we got to jump on it. We got to do something with it, take advantage of the opportunity. But it was so quick where it came together. I was like, okay, well, I need to storyboard it to some degree. And I was like, well, we'll try AI and we'll render shit out that way.
That was
So
my next question to you. Now
yeah,
you use a lot of imagery from
yeah.
AI.
Anything outside of the band shots was all AI generated. But
Damn, I
like
thought those
the
were real models, bro. Damn it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I wanted it to be as close as possible. So I
Wasn't
figured,
wasn't Cat in the beginning of that?
no, no.
No,
See,
that's
and
not
other
even.
people thought that too. Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah,
It's how it rendered it.
it,
Because
it
I
looked
didn't
just like
say,
her.
yeah, give me somebody that looks like her. You know, it was just,
How did that go? Give me
yeah.
some.
That's how I text. So into the gay hands too, you know. But
So
no, it was all AI
that's all.
generated.
Yeah, like what was it
Yeah,
like, doing that? Did
it
you
was a pain in
prefer
the
that?
ass.
Yeah,
No, I hate it. I hate AI personally.
me too.
I needed something quick to get into the scenes, but it was a play on the lyrics too, because um, with the song being more about a female, it was also going over the elements lyrically. So I was like, well, how can I take this and make it into a story? And that's what it was. It was like it's kind of like Captain Planet. You remember that show?
Captain, why do I know that? What is that from?
Captain, with our powers combined, I am Captain. So they got like all the earth, wind, fire, water, the elements, and they combine their fucking gay rings, and Captain Planet shows up to save the earth. But I had to do it opposite, so I was like, okay, well, let's make it a woman of light that destroys these women elements and takes from them all of this shit and destroys the earth. So that's kind of where it all went and flung off to. So it's like everything's frozen over.
Yeah, it was very cool. I really like that, and Mr. B loves it as well. Yeah, we both enjoyed that video
Very
and the
glad you're
song.
the only ones.
Oh, bullshit.
So, all right, so let's talk a little bit more
Mhm.
about about what's happening with the band right now. What's going on now? What are you doing?
So right now we're basically booting up to get back on the road and do some more shows and touring, and then we are also in the midst of re-releasing the third album, The Fate, Wine, and Mysteria. We're having our mixing guy and his name's Kafir. He works with Evil Snell Studios out of Texas. He's doing the mixes, and then those are going to Moore Applebaum for mastering, which he's like a big time Grammy mastering guy or whatever. So we're on the route for that to do the re-release with Rosa Window Records, which is your side too, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. Tell everybody about Rose Window.
Yeah, so it's geared for independent artists, uh, and they're really designated to set up to not take from the artist. They don't no 50-50 deals or 360 deals or none of that. But you have to be self-sufficient in your own way, because at the same time, they're not paying you thousands of dollars to go do your stuff. But it's made for more of like a collaborational effort between bands and people and connections and contacts to further advance in this shitty industry.
And how did you go about creating Rose Window Records with, like, who did you create it through or with?
It was just an idea. I think we had Sean from Sister Kill Cycle. He went in on it to partner with it, and yeah, we just kind of picked up whoever was willing and interested at the time. So it's very small but effective.
And are you having little, like, some success with that? Like, how's that going?
Yeah, it's the big thing that you learn doing all this stuff is like if you don't have or know the right people, especially when you're trying to get venues, and you're trying to do touring, you're trying to do even the production side, right? Um, People that don't have that knowledge of other people need that knowledge. And then it opens everybody up for business, right? So if you need PR stuff, we have contacts for that. If you need recording studio time, you need mixing or mastering or whatever, there's something is always available, and it may cost some money, but typically they'll offer discounts to anybody that's signed with the label.
That's cool.
It's
Did
it's there to help everybody.
did I Did I hear you correctly when we spoke a while back? Did you say it was associated with Sony?
So, yeah, the Von Artists is our direct kind of link contact up to Sony's The Orchard. So this is
Okay.
a digitalized big media thing. So yeah, it goes through those guys for your
I
release
yeah,
if you want it.
I thought there was some association with
Yep,
Sony. It's Sony the Orchard, right?
yep, Sony The Orchard. Yep.
Well, that's pretty cool. Um, Now I know you did a tour not too recently ago,
Hmm.
right? I mean, that was a few months ago, correct?
Yeah, back in November.
Yeah. And how did that go? And who did you tour with?
Oh man, so that was with Sister Kill Cycle. That was all the way from here in Northwest Florida to Los Angeles and then back. So it was exhausting. Yeah, it was like a show every night, and it's pretty much you get there, you set up, sound check, do your show, pack up, get on the road, drive overnight. Um, I remember going from San Antonio to Phoenix took 16 hours.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was.
We left the venue and didn't stop driving until we got to the next venue and got ready to go on stage.
So we're all rotating.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's like we get 3 hours per gas tank, I think is what it equated to, and then somebody else will rotate in and then pick up the drive for a gas tank, and then you just try and sleep or relax and rest as much as you can. But shit, I mean you're running off 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night. You have no time to really stop and do anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
And for especially for a vocalist, I mean, not to take away from the musicians, but when you're playing an instrument, it's different than using your body as an instrument when you're a
definitely
vocalist. It's so important to get rest, and I say that from
right.
experience. Um, and if you don't get rest, your body, particularly your vocal cords, can blow out. And
That's exactly right.
if I remember correctly, wasn't the last show you did wasn't that the last show you did when you drove 16 hours to where the hell was it? LA?
No, so LA to Phoenix, but
Phoenix.
that was actually the beginning, the
That
start
was
of
the
it.
beginning. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
on the front half of the leg. The last show we did was Mississippi. But to be honest with you, I mean, as long as you stay hydrated, relax as much as you can, try not to talk as much as you can, um, you'll fare pretty well. I know I didn't have any issues. I thought I was going to have vocal issues doing it that way, but it ended up I didn't have
Yeah.
any problems.
And that tour was kind of like an outlying situation for it. We went extremely far for a very condensed amount of time. Usually, people, whenever they're going to be touring, they're going to be doing the distance that we did over the course of 2 weeks, and we did it
Right.
in like 10 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
So, yeah, we had long
But
drives.
it was 6 hours from Phoenix just to LA.
Mhm.
And we get into LA, we got to get to the venue, get everything going. And it's like, oh, hey, we need you over here. Annabelle the Flux, we had a photographer lined up. She shoots with the 69 Eyes and some other well-known names. But we had to get straight there, go straight into the photo shoot, do that, sound check, get on stage, play the fucking show, get down, get as much sleep as you could, get up the next morning, go into downtown LA to a famous photographer, Jack Lou.
Yeah, we got like an hour and a half of sleep that night.
Yeah.
They kicked us out of an hour Airbnb at like 9:30.
Yeah, it
Oh
was.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
crazy. Yeah, but we had to shoot over there, get the photo shoot done, load back up, and then head for Albuquerque, New Mexico that same
that-
day.
Oh,
That's-
wow.
Yeah, to play the show
That's
that same night.
Now,
that's unbelievable.
in the Southwest, you also got to adjust to that dry heat. And
Oh, well,
I mean, it's
Dude.
different than the environment you guys live in, isn't it? It's a lot
well,
different.
it is. It's a lot. I mean, I'm kind of used to it too because I mean I've been around it
Yeah.
before. But I'll tell you, Phoenix is Satan's asshole.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That place is hot as fuck, man. Like we be in an Uber because we were there doing a show 2 weeks prior before the tour, and we were riding around in an Uber, and the AC full blast, and the sun's coming through the windows, and you're just fucking baking. You're sitting there baking
Yeah.
in the AC. That was kind of mind blowing for me, but yeah, that place is hell.
So you guys literally got done with the show, loaded up all your gear, drove to Albuquerque,
Yep.
set up all your gear, and
Yep.
played another show with
Made another
almost
show.
no sleep.
Yeah, no sleep. It's
That
just
I
it,
I I have a ton of respect for you guys.
yeah. We had to make it happen, but yeah, and then we were doing Dallas the next night and then fucking back in Mississippi, that final night. But yeah, that was I don't know, like it had some great moments, like the scenery and stuff. Um, but it was fucking hell. That was fucking hell. I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
many
If
so
we ever
many
go
people.
touring again, we're going to be doing it over a longer time with shorter drives.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So many people don't realize how grueling it is to
It is,
tour.
yeah. Well,
And I don't mean just being a band. I mean like touring. Touring
yeah,
is taxing on the body.
absolutely. In all ways,
And
and
especially
that's
if you're going through different time zones, having
yep,
to adjust to that, I mean it screws your body up
that's
really,
right.
really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the like you really can't focus on it. I don't know, for me personally, I just didn't focus on the time or where the sun was positioned for the day or anything. I just
Yeah. Just stay in business
uh,
mode for the whole tour. It's like we got to get this tour done. We got to get this tour
yeah.
done. Not
Yeah.
focusing on anything but
But
that.
yeah, but I
Staying.
mean, there were several moments I remember being on stage and I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. My hands were just going, and it's all muscle memory. It's driving you, and you get through it, and and that's it. So that it sucks because there's very little. I also remember it was so fucking tiring.
Mhm. A lot of people don't realize how important the road crew is
Yeah,
to a band, and
if you have it.
if you have it. And I mean
Yeah,
the people behind the scenes that help create the illusion on stage, so to speak. I mean it's a
yeah.
real reality, but it's
Well,
prep work.
and I remember seeing an interview with Rob Zombie one time, and he was, talking about how people were calling him a sellout, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, sold out. I don't have to lug this shit by myself. Yeah, I'm a sellout." And
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get where he's coming from with that.
You know,
You know,
I've heard the same thing. In fact, I remember doing an interview with Glenn Danzig, and I asked him the very same. Well, I didn't ask him that question that way, but a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, Danzig sold out. He's making money now." And I went, "Well, isn't that the fucking purpose?"
well, yeah, but it is the purpose. It's the absolute purpose at the end of the day. But Glenn, man, because I grew up on Danzig. That was one of my favorite fucking bands. It's what got me started playing guitar. Um, but I listened to his albums throughout the years. I mean, he pretty much stayed consistent. And I know kind of veered off and did like the little industrial style, but it was still good for what it was. But I noticed that too. Like you have to be able to inject some different things, otherwise you turn out like Nickelback. Where
Oh,
every
please.
fucking year you got the same shit coming through. So
Yeah.
there are things you've got to play with and work around it to give yourself some type of difference from what you've done before.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think the difference with bands like say we just did a show what was it? Like the last show I think with the bands that our top six bands we picked. And one band that Mr. B and I both picked was The Cure. And I even said
Yeah,
to him, this is the one band, in my personal humble opinion, that I feel never sold out. And this is a band that can sell out stadiums,
that's right.
but they never really sold out
But
music wise.
correct. Now here's one of the things because I love that band. And one of the big focuses, because that's a huge influence for me just in my writing. But what I notice is, with their albums, and this is kind of what I try to do too, is you go some songs you could just go a different direction. And it sounds completely out of what you are doing as a band, but it's just like this little quirky track. Like, if you look at the Love Cats, you know, I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of the song, but it was quirky and it's kind of in its own little thing. But they do all these different things and they pull from all these different things. Now, with you guys being a big fan of The Cure, on Fate One and Wisteria, Windows, that song was heavily inspired by Plain Song from Disintegration in the bridge area. And then I took that and I kind of melded it with a Def Leppard guitar riff
Mm.
to make
What a
this.
what a mix.
Dude, yeah, I just sit and fuck with shit though. But you kind of pull from all these different directions and you can build it off of your core. And I don't know, it gives so much room to play with to where if you do another album and another album and another album, then you have so much you can work off of, and it won't get old.
One thing I really like about Robert Smith and the way he does albums is he kind of has a formula, and he kind of has the meat of the album, and then every 3 or 4 songs he throws something really different in there, like a
Yeah.
Love Cats or
Yeah,
Why
it's
Can't I Be You or
right,
something like that. And back then you used to listen to the whole entire album all the way through because you pretty
that's
much
right,
had to, right? And so that was always a treat for me to hear those songs. And what's he going to come up with next? You know?
right. And that was always my big focus, because I don't like doing singles. I think albums give atmosphere, and it needs to be able to pull you into a world that you need, and you can listen through it from start to finish without skipping anything. So I try to take that to the table with me when I'm doing my writing for an album. Is how do I make it to where nobody wants to skip a song? But and it's tough. It's tough to do,
Of
but
course, it's not easy to create.
right.
So let's address something that I'm sure you've done in probably almost every one of your interviews. So there's got to be there's got to be some sort of, how would I frame this? How do you feel when people compare your band to Typo Negative?
Uh, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like I don't look at that band as my go-to for everything I'm doing. I'm doing so many other things outside of that realm. I just understood back in the early 2000s when I had a band together. Um, the comparisons were always there, and it's just if I'm singing, whatever. So what I noticed with that band was there was a they to me they created a genre, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree too. Um, but and I looked at it, like 80s hair metal. You had everything spawned from Led Zeppelin, right? That was the big thing, and then you had Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Rat, Slaughter, and all these bands generating off of that. So that's kind of the way that I approached this particular thing. I was always big on the doomier stuff, and like I said, growing up on Danzig, and that was Black Sabbath, and that was The Cure. So it was, even Cradle of Filth was a big influence in a lot of the keyboard work I was doing. But I don't see it as um, something where we're trying to exactly replicate that. It's just we're in that realm, or that genre, and I want to be able to write my own shit. You know.
Of course,
Yeah,
but I
it's
mean,
like one of the biggest parts of the identity of anyone's sound is the voice, and Tom can't get away from
Mhm.
his voice.
Nope.
Be like, okay, you're gonna criticize us for sounding like Typo. It's like, okay, just
Yeah.
have to get in there and give him some
I mean, I guess I
vocal
could,
cord surgery.
keep my
Short of that,
balls in a fucking nice hammock so I can squeak. But
well,
yeah, I mean, it can get annoying. It does, because I don't know. It's just like even the image, I avoid very specific things that were associated with that band, um, because I don't want it to be associated with that band. I'm trying to stand on my own in something here. But there was just again when I started this, man, it was like, is there a market? And there was. So I just kept going.
what's next for October Noir?
Ooh, definitely we'll look at doing a new fresh album. Um, but I think it's going to be a little bit, man. Like I said, I'm gonna get this re-release done, and that'll be kind of the tide over. I'm sure we'll do some releases up until the next album. We've already sat and kind of, we got a few little riffs and stuff we've tracked down just to have it and store it and work off of it later. But it'll be a slow process. But I don't want, I don't want to get into that position either of like, and this is a big problem with local bands or a lot of the younger bands is they want to keep releasing, and then they'll do like single, okay, single this month, single this month, single this month until we got the full album. Oh, your whole album's out now. That's great. I've heard every fucking one of these songs. So you take what a giant atmosphere is and you condense it in these little segments, but people are going to push and pull. It's all like psychological. But I think it's important to stay inside that territory, but not do one every year. Not trying to pump every little thing out that you can over and over and over again. You got to marinate it. work off of it, because later on you might come back to it and go, ooh, if I did this instead, or if I add this instead, it can make it a lot cooler. So I like to be able to take my time. I don't want to rush it. Normally we do like every 2 years was a new album release. But right now, you know, instead of trying to force so much material out there, when somebody finally discovers you, um, they're going through this back catalog and they could spend hours, but who's to say they're going to spend hours doing that? So I think it's important to kind of work off of what you already have and get that, focus on the exposure, get that going first. And then as you're watching your fan base grow and things are happening for you, then you hit them with something new and it kind of boosts you. It's like a little rocket ship, up to the next level. When I see it all unfolding, it's literally ladder steps and wrong after wrong after wrong. And sometimes you're stuck, sometimes you might fall back one, but you keep climbing it.
Gotcha. Mr. B, why don't we play a little bit, about 2 minutes of uh Halo on the horns. Am I saying it right?
A halo hung from horns.
A halo hung from horns. Again, great video. If anybody wants to see more of their videos, you go to the October Noir YouTube page, right, guys? Is that it?
Yeah.
You're also on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, it's on there, Apple Music,
And
Amazon.
also have a website, octobernoir.com, right?
That's correct.
All right. So yeah, you can check out all their videos. You get all their CDs, downloads, whatever you want on anything associated with October Noir. So, yeah, great stuff, man. I had a blast having you guys here tonight. Also want to mention before we play one last video, I also want to mention you guys are going to be playing in June, right?
Yes.
So you're going to come out to it's Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
Brooklyn and
Brooklyn.
New Jersey.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah. So June 26th will be Clifton, New Jersey at Dingbats, and Myke, our homo host, will be there. And we did that song "The Ages" together, and we are taking the stage again to do it. So it'll be another little special go with that. I didn't think that was going to happen again. So yeah, come out and see Myke and let him sign your boobs. And And then we'll be in Brooklyn the next night for the Amatory Murders album release at Lucky 13. So
And Lucky 13 is in, again, Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, yeah.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. When we get closer to the date, we'd like to have you guys on again.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
help promote the show.
Yep.
And this way, you know, people will know what's going on. It'll be closer to the date. They won't forget so quickly. And in the meantime, yes, so as Tom just mentioned, there was a single that October Noir released with a song called The Ages on it, with yours truly singing. And yeah, the single came out. They did 100 limited edition CDs with a poster of the cover, which was a painting by yours truly. I feel like such a whore when I'm promoting myself like this. But let's Mr. V, are you there? Let's play the Ages video. fading away sometime.
That man, it makes me like think back to that night. It was such a fucking amazing night, man. And that room was just filled with people. And I just remember being so fucking loud in there when we were all done, of everybody just cheering. It was just, yeah, that was,
It was a good night. It
yeah,
really
very good
was. I
night.
was very happy for you that you got a good turnout, and I was so honored to have been invited to come up and play that
Yeah,
song
we're gonna
with
do it
you.
again. So,
Yeah, as you said before, I didn't think it was going to happen again, but
yeah,
you know, in time to come, and I'm sure it will come when you start doing your big tours and you're a big famous rock band, I expect
man.
that you'll say, "Hey, Mike, we're playing at the Garden tonight. Why don't you come by and do a little song with us? You know that song,
Yeah,
The Age."
I'll
And I'll
have you
be like,
picked up in a white hearse.
There you go." Yeah, yeah, great song. I love that song so much. It's
Yeah, me
really,
too.
really nice. I'm not bragging, but it's really a good song.
Hey, Mike, what's the story behind that song? I mean, you wrote it, right?
Sort of.
Explain the the fundamentals of that song. What was the process in writing it, and what's the
All right.
story?
I'm not going to get too deep into it, but basically it comes down to this. Tom and I were in a side project called Momento di Tone. Prior to that, it was called Momento Morte, which means remember you must die. Which is I think a cross between Greek, no, between Latin and Roman.
Yeah.
What they used to say, what they used to have slave boys say to Roman emperors, Memento Morte, which meant you must remember time is just fleeting. You are a king now, but you will die like everybody else. So we did this band, and we had in fact, the drummer Danny, right?
Yeah.
Danny was from October Noir, Tom from October Noir, myself, and another guy. And so how do I explain this, Tom? I mean,
The tracks we have, what was it, 4 tracks, I think.
4 tracks.
It was brought to us, and it was literally just instrumentals. It was old recordings. It was trash, essentially.
And it was already mixed.
Right. So we didn't have anything in the original. So I remember when I first got them, like I just went in and overlaid some keyboards and my bass, and then Mike, you did the lyrics and the vocals. But that was one of the tracks. Actually sat down and completely re-recorded so we could get a good sound and mix out of it.
Right.
Uh,
That was well said. Better than I could have had of explained
yeah,
it.
it was bad.
Yeah, we basically kind of acquired this song, and we were given rights to it, so
Yep.
we redid it, and
Yeah,
here we
because
are.
now I don't know if you remember this, Mike, but when I was doing the fourth album, I actually reached out to you about putting this thing on here, and I was like, well, if we put Mike's vocals, it's going to be really weird across the spectrum of the album. I said, so I'll try and record the vocals to it. And I remember coming to you about it and make sure you're okay with it. But I remember after I was done with it, I was like, it sucks. Here you go. What do you think? Your vocals are better. We got to stick with that. We just decided to sit back and wait until something came around to where it would make more sense to do a release with it. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's just make it a single and we'll do this big promo package. And I think I included my vocal demo version on the CD. And then we had
Yeah,
like what we called the dub shit remix.
yes, the dance version.
Yeah, like the club mix version. So I felt
It's kind
bad.
of interesting. I actually like that dance club version. It's kind of
Yeah. Oh,
interesting.
you were the first person I've heard that has said that. But I
Now,
don't know if anybody's really heard it because you can't get it unless it's on disc.
oh, really? You
Yeah,
can't
you
download it?
can't download it. It is only on that disc. But that was kind of the incentive to push for the promotion and the sale of it because I couldn't justify going, oh, let's release one song on a CD and charge $10 because we have to make up the expenses and the cost.
Right.
of what it takes to print and press. But I was like, we got to give it something more, a little something more to justify for me to justify somebody paying $10 for it.
So
I'm
then
just
you go ahead, Mr. B.
I'm just curious. It sounds like, is there a possibility that there could be a couple more songs produced in the future? Another couple collaborations?
Yeah,
Mike, have
well,
you been talking to Mr. B?
I haven't told him about it, but yes, Mr. B, I actually spoke to Tom about this about a month ago.
Yep.
There is another song that we have that I did vocals for. It's really a matter of when Tom has time to re-record this particular track, and if he goes ahead and does that, I mean, I don't know what the future could be for that song, but the name of the song is called Blood Runs Cold, and uh, again, that was from a project that Tom and I did together back in 2020, and it never got released. So again, I did speak with Tom about it. It's his call when he's able to do it, or if it ever happens, it's really up to him. So
It's yeah, expect it. I would say that.
Yeah, the
good.
reason I said that was you guys said you created like four songs in the past, and
Mhm.
it sounded like you kind of made one work. You know, uh, it's just exciting, man. I love seeing Mike on stage, and the fact that you guys got him up there, um, that's amazing, man. And I'm so
Yeah, I
happy
didn't think
that
it was gonna
he's
happen.
gonna do it again. And I just think it's the coolest thing ever. I really
Yeah,
do.
it was awesome, man, to be able to be up there. It felt very magical, and I mean that in a non-gay way.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
lie, you felt
totally
like a Disney princess.
we're full of non-homosexual love on the show. We don't have anything against homosexuals. We just,
No,
yeah.
With a little luck, there is also another project that Tom has in his hands that again is based on his availability. And
yep.
if he can, I've asked him to remix two Empire Hideous songs that are from an album called Say Your Prayers. So let's just put it this way: it's just Tom's got the stuff. When he's ready, he can do what he wants to do. So maybe who knows? Well, maybe a three-song
An
CD will come
EP,
out. An
maybe?
EP, I don't know.
Oh, that's exciting. Count me
Yeah,
in
come
to
out and
buy
get
it.
in the fish bowl with Mike and see what comes out, man.
Yeah. Well, in any event, that's it, man. I want to say thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Um, is there anything else you wanna mention anything or plug anything?
Come to the show in June.
Tell everybody when it is again.
June 26th, Clifton, New Jersey, Dingbats. And the next night is Brooklyn, New York at Lucky 13.
And give them the website.
www.octobernoir.com.
Anything else?
I like Dennis Pauna to remember not to drop the soap.
Hey, all righty then.
That's an inside joke with him.
Not
New
even gonna
York.
go there. All right.
I have one announcement I want to make at the end of the show, but they don't necessarily need to be here for this. But I got something coming up. So,
Yeah, well, we're not done with the show. We're just getting rid of
oh,
these
okay.
bozos.
All right. Well, you guys welcome
Thanks,
as
Dad.
far as I'm concerned, man.
Yeah, of course. You can always come on whenever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. No, thank you
My
guys.
pleasure.
Yep.
Thank
When
you.
when you need
Thanks
us,
for
just say so.
coming on the show. It's just starting out, and I sincerely appreciate you
Yeah.
helping us build a little
Of
bit of a
course, man.
following
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I want to get some viewers on it. So
Yeah, we've got all like
as soon
there's
as you
there's
guys
like
get a
10
link,
people listening to this show when it comes out.
yeah. Well, as soon as you have the link ready, I'm going to go ahead and advertise. So the sooner you can get it, Mr. B, the better off we'll be to get people on board to watch it.
Once
True.
Mike approves it, you got it, man. You got it.
All
And
right.
hey, a pleasure meeting you guys.
Yeah, you as well, man. And we will
Thanks,
talk
guys.
again soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely, man.
All right.
Later.
Take care. All right. So there you have it, folks. October Noir, a Florida-based metal band, gothic metal band, which is really a wonderful, wonderful group, and I wish them all the best. And I have a feeling that they are gonna they're gonna get to a very successful level, and I sincerely hope they do because they deserve it. Tom's a hard worker. The band works hard, and they got good music,
They
so
have great music, man. I
they
since
do.
you've turned me on to them, I've really enjoyed listening to them, and they're on a lot of their songs are on my playlist. So
Good, cool. Sorry, like the cat was just like moving my computer, my kitty cat. Anyway,
we're on episode 9, dude. I'm kind of used to it.
yeah, yeah. By the way, yeah, this is episode 9. We are recording on April 8th, 2025. What's been going on, man?
Oh, dude. Just one, you know, crazy thing after another. It's all family stuff, Just my dog it started with my dog biting me, and one night I usually take her to bed with me and she lays right next to me. And one night she just didn't want me to take her to bed. And so I said, "All right, you want to stay out? That's fine." So I go back to bed. I get up for work. I get up pretty dang early. I get up at 6 and I'm out the door by 6:30 and I don't see anybody because they're all still in bed. And I'd say about 7:30 my wife calls me and says, "Hey, uh Kit's eye is really screwed up." I don't get a picture. I don't know what's going on, but the cat attacked my dog
Oh
and
man,
she's a very feral cat and she doesn't mess around, man. So
a bully.
yeah, and so when I got home, I worried about her all day long, When I physically got home, her eye looked really bad, but there's nothing I could really do because I mean, I'm not made of money, man, and so taking her to urgent care when their prices are just outrageous, as much as I love my dog, man, I can't do that right now. So I got an appointment today and she just needs some antibiotics just to make sure there's no infection.
Right.
So
Yeah.
things are a lot better, a lot of pressure off there. You know what I mean?
Good.
Even though the
Good.
damn dog bit me, I still love it
Of
very
course.
much. So, and just little stuff, cars breaking down but everything's under control now. So that's
So
the
is
thing.
life. So is
Yeah,
life.
yeah. So just personal crap. Um, I'm excited that this weekend I got a lot of paranormal stuff happening this month.
Are you going on a hunt?
This weekend I am going up to Gold Country where I
Where's
should
that?
it's kind of an area east of Sacramento. It's got a lot of haunted stuff in it. It's got Preston Castle, which I kind of showed a picture in a prior video of me standing in front of that looks like a big castle. It was a boys reformatory.
Oh, you told me
Um,
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like the Kennedy mine, which is a really haunted place. It was the biggest mining disaster to ever happen in the United States, that happened there, and there's crazy stuff that happens. But I'm going to a place I've never been to before. It's a bunch of little towns in one big area, but it's called Sutter Creek, and it's an old gold mining town, and they have a paranormal tour that I signed up for to go to. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's sold out like almost immediately, and so they actually opened up another event right after that, so like a month later. So I'm getting to go to that one on this Saturday. And then my friend owns a haunted Airbnb called Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home in in Jackson, California. So I'll be staying there and investigating. And I'm excited, dude. It's
Wait, that's all this weekend?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I'm doing it all in basically 24 hours. Yeah. It's gonna
Wow.
be hardcore, man.
Got a lot
Um,
going on.
yeah, the paranormal tours, you don't really investigate that hardcore. It's more you're walking with a group and they tell you stories, and they may take you to a spot where you can ghost hunt, but I don't ghost hunt in big groups. It doesn't work, okay? And usually the people that go on these things don't know what the hell they're doing. So it's more for entertainment. But then going to Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home, there I can investigate full on. I could set up all the equipment I wanted, and I can have at it. So
Good.
that I'm excited about, and I've investigated there quite a few times. So that'll be good. But the other thing I'm excited about is at the end of the month, I'm going to Bakersfield, California, and
I've been there.
You have?
I have.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the one place Fresno, which is a town I don't live in it, but I live near it, can kind of go, yeah, Bakersfield sucks. They suck more than we do. So, but there is a hotel there that is really, really well known for being very, very haunted. And I've been wanting to stay there for about 10 years. I finally just said I'm going to do it. My friend Elsie that owns Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home will be going with me to investigate, and we're going to a few other little spots around there. And so I'm tremendously excited, man. So
Cool. Well,
yeah.
good luck. I hope you find a ghost.
I do too. I do
And
too.
if you do, tell them I said hi.
I've also just got a new piece of equipment called an XLS. And it is you don't know what it is, but if I say it, but an SLS is like that device that shows the stick figures.
Yes.
You see it on TV all the time.
I've seen it, yes.
This is a device that is like that, but it's like on steroids. It uses LiDAR technology, it uses FLIR technology, and it uses structured light as well. And it basically maps a 3D map of the room or the area that you're standing in, and it's an amazing device, and I'm really excited to get my hands on it and play with it. So
Nice.
I'll be testing that out this weekend and at the end of the month. So
Wicked.
yeah,
Well, there you have it, folks. Mr. B is going on a ghost hunt. Let's hope he picks up a ghost and records it. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch the episode 9. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And also check out MykeHideous.com. You can also get me on Instagram at #MykeHideousOfficial and on Facebook at facebook.com/HideousMike. And that's about it. You got anything you want to promote there, Mr. B?
I think I already did it, buddy. The thing I'm
All
most
right.
excited about is out there. I just those guys were great, man. It was fun interviewing them. It was fun to do our first interview.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. And there'll be more where that came from. I can
Definitely.
promise you that.
Looking forward to it.
Yep. I'm gonna see if I can get 2 guys. For those of you who are interested in our interviews, I'm gonna try to get these 2 guys who I know from my past who do a very successful magazine in New Jersey. I'm not gonna make it known yet until we get them confirmed. But yeah, we're gonna have them on, and there'll be more to come after that as well.
I was just going to show one of their books, and then you said what you said, so I'll refrain from doing it.
Yeah, let's get them to confirm first,
Yeah.
and then once they confirm, we will.
I'm
we'll
obviously
come on.
very excited about that one.
Yeah, me too. They're really fun to talk with, but we'll wait until that actually happens.
For sure.
And on that note, thank you again, everyone. I hope you'll tune in for episode 10, which will be out in a week from this date when this is put out on whatever date it comes
That'll
out.
be the 14th.
The 14th of April. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Hideous Diversion. Thank you very much. Have a good night.